beat. Da, 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 da. Hello, everybody out there in Google Hangout.
Hey, gang!
To another episode of Screenwriters Beat, and this is episode 23. We're just racking them up. And today is going to be about networking. How do you network to get work? We'll find out very soon. But first, I'd like everyone to meet our wonderful panel of working screenwriters. Ta-da! Let's start with our very own Nicole Kiefler. Hey, Nicole.
Hello! Hi, everybody. Nice to be back, and great to see my fellow panelists and all you guys out there in cyber world. And I write horrors, thrillers, supernatural stuff.
Super.
And comedy for kids during my day job.
A perfect combination.
Perfect combination.
The adult and the child. Nicole Jones-Dion, welcome back as well. How are you?
Hello. Good. And I'm like the other Nicole. I guess we're just a pair of spooky Nicoles. We like creepy supernatural stuff.
The creepier the better. We like that. Yes. Also welcome from Australia, our very own Margaret Riseley.
Hi everybody, great to be here. I write spooky horror stuff too, as well as comedy and thrillers and anything anybody wants me to.
Yay! Very good. And please also welcome Eric Ingram, who writes a little bit of everything as well.
I know, right? I write spooky comedy. No, I'm No. I write action and comedy and inspirational stuff. Inspirational movies.
Yes.
Nice.
Well, very good. And shorts.
Yes, and shorts too. Yes. Thank you, Ann.
Shorts to you too.
Yes. Yep. And I'm Ann Kimbrough. I write action and thrillers and a little horror from time to time. But that's probably just from the influence from all of you.
We're tainting you.
In a good way. In a good way.
We were so
We
pure
are haunting your
before we started.
mind.
Right.
I like that. Well, so today's main topic is networking, which is kind of something you have to do. What, you know, is it the publishing, or I mean, in the academic world, it's publish or perish. So ours might be network, or I don't know, don't find work if you don't network.
Yeah.
But we want to get into that and find some tips. I mean, because we're not talking about just networking on a level of meeting other writers, which is kind of easy, but meeting producers, actors, managers. How do we network? Margie, you're in Australia. How do you network with LA?
Well, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook. I'm not very good at networking, I must admit, but I've got a huge, well, I suppose I call it huge for me, nearly 1,000 LinkedIn contacts, and most of those are producers, and I'm slack. I just haven't made use of it. So, you know, don't use me as an example. Find somebody else.
Well, but you've gone out to a lot of things locally. So
yeah,
you're not in LA, but what do you do locally?
In Australia, we've got each state, like there's only 6 states. Each one has its own state funding body, and it's great to get involved with them. Some are better than others, but they're all pretty good. And they run different initiatives, and that I found that's a great way for Australians to get involved, because each state will say, you know, you've got to live in this state to apply for this initiative. But they'll put writers with producers and directors. I had a short film that Screen Australia does a fairly prestigious little initiative for emerging professionals, you know, like writers, directors, producers, cast, crew. And they do that sort of thing. So to get involved with your state funding body, this is specifically for Australians obviously, is a good thing, because you will get to meet more people. Even me, like I'm living, you know, 1,000 kilometres from the nearest capital city. And it is difficult, but I got in touch with a lady who was very much involved with Screen Queensland now a producer, and we had a Skype meeting, and she's given me some tips on who to contact and that sort of thing. So it is important to get yourself out there and don't sit in your cave wherever you are, because if I can do it from here, believe me, anybody can. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Now I know Nicole Jones-Dion. I know you also don't think you're a big networker, but how are you getting out there?
Yeah, I guess doing a lot of the same stuff. Meeting people on LinkedIn, and then that kind of snowballs from there. I had lunch today with a writer that I met from LinkedIn, and then we were kind of swapping contacts and referring people to this project and that project. So each one can turn into 50 more if you leverage them right. Mm-hmm. And then I get a lot of referrals from people, and that's made my life a lot easier. Mm-hmm. Once you get the first gig, then they tend to kind of snowball from there if you do a good job. But yeah, and film festivals, pitch fests. I mean, there's lots of ways to go out there, and the one thing I am very bad at and very remiss at is cold calling. I'm not a comfortable phone person. I avoid the phone at all possible, but I don't mind sending blind queries via email and like pinging people on Facebook and LinkedIn and stuff. That I'm very comfortable with, but get me on a phone and I'm.
Well, what about following up? When you follow up, do you cold call? I mean, that's not a cold call anymore. Do you call people when you already know?
It depends. It depends on, just because I'm very bad on the phone, and also because I live in a part of town where we have really terrible cell phone reception, and the last thing I want to do is be on a cell phone call with someone important and the phone is all cutting out. You miss half the conversation, and it's just all bad. So I like doing things in writing, so that way I can be sure I'm getting all the information I'm supposed to get instead of relying on cell phone.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Eric, how about you? Are you using LinkedIn? And I know you like to pick up a phone. You'll do that.
No, I definitely will pick up a phone, but definitely I think, again, to piggyback, sometimes I try to be different, but on this topic, we're all the same, which is LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram. I definitely watch movies that are in my genre and get names off the producers and associate producers and all that kind of stuff. I would definitely send them a cold query. Like I said, they can only either dump it or say no. That's the worst thing that could happen. So, but I would rather, because I would probably beat myself up if I at least didn't try. I just like that. You got to at least try. That's my biggest thing. And I think last week we talked about that. I think we were talking about sayings, and I said my new saying is going for no. Mm-hmm. Right? That whole thing was like, it was like a Jedi mind trick, which is the more you get out there, right, if you're afraid of no, what you do is you face the fear. So, matter of fact, I'm going for no. So that way you just kind of cut your fear out, and you just start going and start talking, start making the calls, and like I said, of course I know I know my log line, I know my pitch and everything, but you definitely have to be able to get out there. Don't be afraid of no. Because a lot of times it's just not right now. Not really no. It's just not right now. Or we just filled our slate, which is not a no. That's not a no. Really, I have to actually make them say no. You know what I mean? Until they say no, it just means come back again in a couple weeks or something like that. Mm-hmm. But definitely networking, people you went to school with, like all that stuff they tell you that I thought was corny, and like, really, I got to go back to my school? Like, yes, because you just never know what people are doing and who they know. So, just get on out there and don't be afraid.
Well, the true sense of networking, isn't it, that you use someone that knows you and your work to get to somebody else? Have you ever tried that, Nicole Kiefler?
I have, and I have to say, in several years ago when I was getting back to work after being at home for a couple of years with my kids, I had lost a lot of my industry contacts. They just, weren't in the industry anymore, so I felt like I was sort of starting from scratch. And I found LinkedIn was amazing. I mean, I had, VPs of story development for some big company in Toronto who would write back to me and say, I don't actually have anything for you, but I want you to get in touch with some other person and tell them that I sent you, like stuff like that I thought was just incredible, like so generous and kind, and then I would follow up and say, so-and-so told me, to get in touch with you. And so in that sense, I have found LinkedIn to be really helpful. Right now I'm looking for work, and so basically I'm just, getting in touch with all of my existing contacts at producers that I've already worked with, sending out sort of a big, spiel that I'm available. And then if there's just not really anything happening, because it's quite cyclical, like the animation industry, it's like stories, everybody's working on stories at the same time, so I end up working on 4 or 5 shows at the same time, pulling my hair out, and then there's just nothing, because all of those shows are then going into production, And so it's pretty cyclical, but I figure if nothing is really happening, then I need to kind of amp it up and go to the next level. So I will have to use LinkedIn. I'm going to have to go online and just check out like who's doing what and do some cold calls. I don't have a problem. For me, like I really don't have a problem calling people. The thing for me becomes like if they don't call back, do you call back again? Like how many messages do you leave? If they're not calling you, is it just because they're busy or are they not interested? Those are the things, like the sort of subtle nuances that are more challenging sometimes to figure out, Is the not phoning back just no interest, or is it just they're busy, and they will be getting to you at some point. And so, yeah, and then the other thing I did find helpful as far as meeting film producers was going to Inktip. So that was, really branching out, and they had, sort of different tiers that you could purchase in terms of the actual event. And I purchased, one of the, I think it was the top tier where you could actually meet with producers for breakfast and just stuff like that, where sometimes you just have to push yourself. Part of you's like, oh, I really don't feel like doing this. But then you're like, well, okay, but I mean, I'm here. And this is the whole point of it is to get out there and to meet people. And I think the other thing is, and I know we've talked about this a lot, but I think a lot of it is also just who you are, and it's like what Nicole was saying, like once you get a gig and people know you're good to work with, and that becomes golden for you, because then that person is willing to take a chance on you and risk their own reputation to support you and to promote you and stuff, So I think that's where really being professional is so important, and being easy to work with and easygoing. And I met with a couple of guys, I think it was 2 weeks ago, who are super low budget. They're just kind of starting out. They both got a tremendous amount of film industry, but they're both starting out in the industry as producers, and they want to do some low budget horror. And it's like, of course I'll meet with you guys. We're going to try and figure something out. And I think you have to push yourself sometimes, especially as writers. It's like, it's so easy to just kind of be at home on our little computers, and it's like, you gotta make it work, and we are the only ones that can do that. We have to take the steps.
I agree. I think one of the biggest things is getting some work experience and getting out there, and if you have to even volunteer or work for free, you should find a way to meet people and work with people. Because, like you said, that leads to other work. I mean, I used to work TV commercial production, and the way you got work was that somebody took you on once, and then you're good. They recommend you to other people.
Right.
And I think our business works like that on all levels. So, bottom line, you got to meet people, right? You have to find a way to meet them. I think in person. You got to make a big effort to meet them in person.
Yeah.
And most places have something that you could go to, a festival, talk to people. Have you?
Oh, absolutely. I remember a couple of years ago I was working on a show, and all the writers were based in Toronto except me. And one night everybody was going for drinks. I took the train. I went for drinks. Everybody was like, "This woman is crazy," But it was like, well, we're the writing team, so I'm here, And it was great, and it helped me to sort of cement some friendships with some of the other writers and the story editor, who at that point I didn't know well enough, So it was just sort of a, But yeah, you get on the train and off you go. You got to do it,
Exactly.
I think another important point to make is that speaking from the fear of going out there and talking to people, I think I remember. I think this is when me and Ann met. We were like face to face. I mean, at the Inktip, right? Remember? I was doing the.
And you volunteered.
Yeah, I volunteered.
Volunteer for a festival.
Yeah, I was like. I remember, like, all people were just afraid to death, right? People came from all over. They got the script. They got their cardboard cutouts. Like, right? and you could tell that everyone was like super tense, like super, like, oh my God, it's either make or break today, right? And I just remember talking to this girl, and I was like, what's wrong? She's like, I gotta sell my script. I gotta sell my script. And I'm like, well, I'm not trying. I'm trying to make you change the way you're thinking about this, but you're not gonna sell it today.
Right.
You know what I mean?
There's many steps.
Right. Usually, I mean, obviously there could be some crazy, some events happen, but I'm saying
it could happen.
If you think about going in and like I gotta sell it today, that's where all your angst and anxiety starts happening. But if you're just going to meet a person,
right,
talk about your script, talk about them. That's why you should do some research on the person before you get there, hopefully.
If you can.
Right. So you can find.
Might not. But yeah.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I'm just saying, unless you meet them at Starbucks on the whim. But I mean, if you want to meet them and you talk to them, but this is why there's no pressure, because you have a product, they are a producer. You just talk like a person. You don't have to be a salesperson right now. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think once you kind of take that element away, that it usually takes a couple, 3 or 4 or 5 times before you actually sell it. You're going to have to meet a couple people. They got to tell their boss. You got to come in for a meeting. They got to see if you guys click. Like, there's a lot of more steps than the one.
And maybe it's the third project you pitch them.
Exactly.
It might not be that project.
Right. Yeah. But what they is they came in professional, which everyone keeps reiterating. They came in professional. They're a great writer. They had a great script. They got great ideas. And they're not a one-hit wonder. Okay, let's see what we can work together. See, and that's how it happens. Once you know that, then you're like, what's the pressure of meeting somebody? I'm really just meeting them to meet them, honestly.
Yeah. That's right. The other thing is establishing a relationship. Like, even though you may not be getting any work with that person right then, right there, establish the relationship. Let them know that you are a professional, that you're not a crazy, that you're open to work, and you just don't know what will happen down the track. Getting back to this short film that I had made, I'd never met the producer or the director or the actors. Nobody. This is all done long distance. And after the film was made, I just sent a note to the director and said, thanks very much for your work. I really enjoyed it. And from that one note, I then got a writing assignment that's possibly an Australian-Canadian co-production. You just don't know where it's going to go. So you've got to put yourself out there socially as well as professionally. You can't just sit back and crawl back in your little box when something happens. You make the most of it. Yeah.
Good point. Good point. Well, I know we could talk about this more. There's other areas, but I think we covered it pretty well, unless someone has something else to add. Briefly, no. All right. Are you ready for a new game?
Sure.
Virgil Loins. All right. This one is called Quotable. So I'm going to say the name of a movie, and you guys get to chime in with any of the quotes that you think come from this movie that you remember. So you have to come up with a quote, and by doing it, you just buzz in. Maybe you should just say your name as a buzzer, so that way I can pick you, and then you can answer, and we can hear it.
Okay.
You got it?
Got it.
All right. So the first one is Jerry Maguire.
Show me the... sorry, Buzz. Margie.
Margie. Yes, Margie.
Nicole.
Show me the money.
Nicole, do you have a different one?
You had me at hello.
There you go. That's a good one. Those are 2 good ones.
Eric.
Eric. Yes, Eric.
The Quan.
Ah, feel the Quan. Yes. That one was full of them. Good.
I know, right?
Good.
Now we're talking.
Now we're talking. All right. Here's another one. A Few Good Men.
Eric. I'm sorry, I didn't. Sorry.
Eric, okay.
You can't handle the truth.
Very good. No, I saw Nicole was close to that too.
That was the only one
I know, right?
That was the only one. Yeah. Okay. I got another one for you. An oldie but goodie classic, Casablanca.
Of all the of all the girls and all the gin joints in all the world, she happened to walk into mine.
Yeah,
I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah. Play it again, Sam. I know that's code.
Yeah. Play it again, Sam. There's one at the very end. Do you remember that one?
Oh, this is the start of a beautiful friendship. Something like that.
That's it. That one's good. All right, now this one will be an easy one, and this can be from anywhere among the series of movies, Star Wars.
May the Force be with you.
Yeah.
Luke, I am your father.
Yeah. Yeah. My favorite was Laugh It Up, Fuzzball.
My favorite, and only because it's so corny and so cheesy, is Hold Me Like You Did by the Lakes of Naboo.
Oh, that was like, yeah.
Oh, so terrible.
Classic.
That's a
well,
quote.
you guys did great. Congratulations. You all won multiple points.
Did you hear my quote? Did you hear my quote?
Oh, I did.
You ready?
Yeah.
Oh, here goes. Hey.
Yeah, I know. That was when they shut the doors and you thought Han Solo was dead. Oh, yeah. I remember that one.
Wow, you knew exactly which scene.
Exactly. I know. Isn't that scary?
Yeah,
That's a little
that's
scary.
impressive.
Right?
Yeah, that was. Well, that was my favorite one. The Empire Strikes Back. That was my favorite one. Okay. Another show, but. All right, you guys. Here we have a wonderful Q&A. People are wondering what our offices look like. So you're going to have to hold up a picture to the screen, but who wants to try? I know Nicole Kiefler has hers. You want to show
just got to
yours?
get it back up.
Yeah.
Of course, offices are fun and crazy, and hopefully some of our fans can post their office pictures too.
I don't know where to aim it.
Yeah, you're up a little. Tilt forward. Yeah, okay, there we go. Neat, nice wood floors. It looks very
carpeting.
clean.
Yeah, it's very clean. Yeah.
Looks like you could get a lot of work done there.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
I never work in there. It's really dark. I work in my living room.
Really? I like it. Nicole Jones.
All right, let's see if we can make this. No.
To the other way.
All right, so what we have here is my treadmill desk right there, and I share an office with my husband who's an animator, so that's his drawing table.
Okay.
So yeah, that's my
treadmill there.
Yeah, you see the treadmill with a little.
Can you ever sit, or you always have to stand?
I always stand. I mean, if I need to sit, I go in another room, but.
Okay. I like it. Margie, did you have yourself?
I do. Yeah. This is. Hang on. I don't know if you can see this.
Oh, she's got a nice big picture.
That's nice.
Yeah.
She has an iPad Smart. Lovely.
And that bright spot out there that you can't see anything is actually the beach.
Oh,
sunshine out. I would not get any work done there.
Oh.
Yeah,
it's pretty nice.
Eric, did you just want to describe how yours looks?
Yeah. Well, what it was is I had two screens. I had two screens, printer, a basic desk, a high-rise desk, the vertical than horizontal, and then I have a bookshelf on both sides.
Ooh, nice.
So that was been a bit of a moving state right now.
You're moving right now. So where do you write?
At the dinner table, basically.
Okay. Well, can I show you?
You do what you gotta do.
You do what you gotta do.
Yes,
can I show you out my window?
Sure.
Very hard to
gorgeous.
I see sitting out there with a laptop and a big hat.
Well, I mean, I can just look straight out there. That's it.
Oh man,
nice.
I'd definitely have the window open. Okay, here's mine.
Oh yeah, I do. When it's not hot and sunny.
Oh yeah.
I can't see it though. The screen in the middle is big. It goes all the way down to the desk, so I can do a long. I like it because I can have I just read all the way down, multiple pages.
Is that like a 24-inch that you just turn vertical? Is that what
Let's see. Yeah, it's probably close to 20 inches up and down.
20. You just turn it vertical. Nice.
Yeah, it can turn to vertical. So it's kind of fun. And then I have the other side here. It's fun.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Well, cool, guys. I like your workspace. I could write in all of those places. Maybe not as well as Margie's ideal.
Come on down.
Get nothing
Anyway.
done, right?
Well, I love the tips you guys shared today about networking, and I hope everyone gets out there and can use those and meet people and find us on LinkedIn. It seems like everyone's on LinkedIn. So if you're out there watching, find our panel, link.
Mhm.
Some of the best contacts I've ever had have come through writers, I have to say. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, I agree with that. I would agree with that.
Well, we are done with another episode. Woohoo!
Wow, we're so fast.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
it's good.
it
We
always
started a
does.
little bit late, but we wrapped it up quick. I would like everyone to sign off by giving us one word of writing wisdom. Margie, I'll start with you.
Entertain.
Very good. Nicole Kiefler.
Believe.
I like that one. Eric Ingram.
Honesty.
Nicole Jones-Dion.
Persistence.
Oh, God, that was mine!
You gotta come up with another one.
For once, you got mine ahead of time. So, what would I say? Enjoy. You gotta have fun, right? Have fun. Enjoy yourself. Oh, that's too many words, but you know what I mean. Well, guys, thank you again for sharing your time with us, our wonderful panel. Definitely thank you. And all of you guys out there in Google Hangout land, we appreciate you joining us. We're going to have another Screenwriters Beat right after this. But you can always check out our shows on YouTube. They're up on my YouTube channel. There will be links around here. Please like us, subscribe, follow, come back, and share your questions. We're here to help. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
See you guys next time.